Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to show you how to build a website for coaches and consultants using the Nexter theme. We're going to be showing you how to build a simple 3-page website with a home page, an about or services page, and a contact and booking page. We're going to show you how to use the Nexter theme in WordPress and some basic WordPress basics, and we're going to see how it's all done. Okay, so we're going to operate under the assumption that we have started from absolutely nothing, except for 1, buying our domain, and 2, installing the Nexter plugin extension. So if you haven't done that yet, check out our other videos on Nexter, how to install it, or just how to install themes in general. You're going to have to go to Appearance, and then click on Themes here on your dashboard, and then add a theme, and activate Nexter. Go into plugins and add a plugin, and then go ahead and activate and install the Nexter blocks and the Nexter extension. Okay, so let's visit our live site, and you can see that we have nothing on here except probably some blog posts that we made in the past, but you probably won't have any, or just a placeholder one, right? So what we're going to do is enter the customizer by clicking on the customize button over here, or if we are on our dashboard, down to Appearance and click on Customize. It's going to take us to the WordPress customizer. And the first thing that we want to do is go ahead and go over here to the option that says Homepage, but as you can see, there isn't any homepage options yet. So how do we figure that out? So what we're going to do is go over to our dashboard and go on to Pages and click on Add Page. And we're gonna name this one C and C front page. Okay, we're not gonna add anything yet. Let's go ahead and click on Publish. Okay, with that published, let's click on the 3 dots over here and set this as our home page. Okay, now let's reload our customizer over here. And we should be able to see the homepage options show up on our left-hand sidebar. And bang on, right there it is, homepage settings. Click on that and click on static page. And we're going to select CNC front page. And this is just the page that we made, or we can make another one from here. Okay. With that published, we can go ahead and go under, under site identity, and we can add our site logo over here, which is this, and we've already added that. Change your site title, add your tagline, add your site icon, which is this over here, and click on Publish, and let's not worry about this for now. So let's take a look at what we've done here. So we've added a page, okay, but we're going to take a look at Nexter's theme builder, and you're going to see how it allows us to create multiple options and manage them real easily. And it's such a versatile theme, whereas in other themes you might have to edit and delete so many widgets and images and text when you're starting out with a starter site. So with Nexter, it's a blank slate, blank canvas, but at the same time it's not too bare where you need to know how to use how to do some coding. It's bare enough to It's like using something like Canva or Google Docs, where you just drag and drop some elements, and it's something that's very easy to use without having to draw everything manually in Photoshop or MS Paint. Okay, so let's go from right to left, and we're going to be using this in our theme builder as well in a few moments. So on the right-hand side here, we have these 3 dots. Those are just some preferences. Go and take a look at those if you want. This is our Save/Publish button, right? That saves and publishes, self-explanatory. Here's an extra customizer button. There's some presets over here for text and colors. The settings button, right, which brings up this right-hand sidebar, our page information, and our block information, which we will see later on. This is our preview button, or our view button. We can set the display to desktop, tablet, and or mobile. And we can preview this in a new tab. And here's our view page to make us view our actual page. All right, there's nothing on there. We have our body area over here. So this is page title, and I can type some stuff over here. right? And it's going to turn into a paragraph block, right? Keep in mind that this has a black icon. It says paragraph. And we have some options over here for text color, and we can customize whatever colors there are, right? Or we can even change with the slider what we have. We can change the size, and that's about it. We have here a paste option. We have here our list view and our outline, right? So the list view here, we can highlight what block we're selecting, and right now this is a block, and our undo and redo buttons, and last but not least, the block inserter. You can see we have so many blocks over here. Blocks, patterns, which are just a bunch of blocks put together, and then media. Okay, media being images, okay, that we have in our media library that we've uploaded to our domain. So you can see here we have our Nextdoor blocks, right? And if we scroll down over here, we'll see theme blocks and these other blocks, archives, buttons. And the ones with the black icons are default WordPress ones. So let's go ahead and search for the Nextdoor one, design from scratch. And when we open up our settings over here, you can see that the block has so much more options as compared to our default WordPress one. And that's the beauty and utility of using something, well, a third-party block library / theme such as Nextdoor, where it gives us so much expanded controls over all of the individual blocks, which we couldn't really get with the stock WordPress ones. You can get away with the stock WordPress ones, but again, if you're going to download the theme, you might as well use all of these. And also gives you so much more control. All right. So let's go ahead and delete these. Or, well, let's go ahead and use this and center this and say 404. Oop. Just click on that. 404. Save it. And let's reload our front page. And you can see we have 404. And that's just going to be a placeholder. It can be anything. And you can see the interaction already we have from our WordPress block editor, Gutenberg block editor, with the things that we drag and drop over here. And once we save it, this is what will appear on the live site. Okay? But let's not worry about adding pages right now. Let's worry about our theme builder. Okay? So we're going to go over to theme builder here in the Nextdoor extension. And we're going to make a new template. We're going to make it a singular. We're going to name this C and C home 1. Okay. Next, and we're going to include it on our front page, right? And you can see where this is now being, well, where the theme builder comes. Well, it starts being very useful. We can choose to display this on a specific page in particular, right? Or uninclude it in a particular area. Okay, so we'll include it on our front page, and let's click on Create. All right, CNC Home 1 is about to be ready, and you can see that it looks basically the same as the Gutenberg block editor, which it is, but we now have some other options over here. When we go over here to Theme Builder, it lacks a bunch of the other options that we had in making the page itself, and we have this button over here that allows us to edit the condition to where we have our where this theme template is going to display. So let's save that, and let's go ahead and add some blocks. Okay, let's go ahead and add a container, and the container is going to be very useful in allowing us to organize and arrange and shift around the spacing of the elements that we're going to add. So let's just add this one over here, and let's go under, well, let's make it full. Let's go under Style, and under Background, let's add an image, and let's go with a big image, that is. Since this is for coaches and consultants, let's go ahead and look for something like this, if it'll even wrap. Okay, and then we can change the height to minimum height. Okay, when we can change this, we'll probably keep that on default. And then under the style of the background, we'll center it up. We can have it as a scroll. We can not repeat it, or we can have it cover. Okay, and that looks good. And we can probably put this center top, or probably right center. Okay, that's probably the best that we can do right now. Let's go ahead and click on Publish and see how this looks like so far. Let's view the template. Okay, and that's what we're going to get. And let's go ahead and add some text to this. So, heading, just drag and drop that into our container. Okay, and if that's not going to work, let's go ahead and go to Document Overview and then put it under container. And you can see it's now nested. And let's go ahead and change our text over here. Let's go, welcome to website. Okay, and we can center this up, and we can go under style. We can change the color to be white. Let's change the background to something a bit dark. Okay, and then now for the layout, that should be fine. If you wanted to change the font, we can change the font over here. So let's change this to Times New Roman. Let's make it a bit bigger. And let's go under container over here. And under layout, let's flex property, put it on the bottom, center it up, save, and let's reload our homepage again, our template that is. And here we have our banner and title. Let's go ahead and add another container over here. Let's make it the grid, just 2. Okay, and let's add a couple buttons. So here and here. Okay, and now let's select these, and let's go ahead and change the title to About Us, and then this one's going to be it probably would be wise to change this to services, and then here book now. Okay, and then let's center this up, and let's center this up, and you can see that even if we centered these ones internally, we're going to have to go over here to our view, right, for these containers, and we're going to have to go under flex property and then align them in the middle of each one. Let's go ahead and customize these buttons even further. So the link, we're going to have to enter those later on, but fret not, we're going to get to that in a bit. Let us change the style typography to, well, we can change the global typography to heading 5, or probably title 1. Okay, and then for this one as well, we'll change it to title 1 just to keep things a bit consistent. And these ones you can always change in your customizer settings. And then for the background color, let's go with one of our default options over here. Probably dark green would be best. Okay, looking great. Let's click on Save. Let's reload our site. Services, book now. And it's looking kind of bare. So if you wanted to, we can go ahead and put an About Us section down here. And let's do that right now by adding a container and then doing the same thing, Flexbox with this. And let's add a background image. And let's look for another set of images. Let's go ahead and go with this since it's a bit bigger. Let's change size to cover. Set this to full width, and then the height is going to be minimum height. So just that, and let's make it a bit bigger, a few pixels bigger. Okay, and then let's go ahead and add a heading over here, and it's gonna Or probably best if we went over here, got our heading from here, duplicated it, you see, and we can drag and drop that under this container. And you can see that we have retained our customization over here, who we are. All right. And let's go under this container and let's set our flex properties for this to the bottom and then save it. And let's see how this looks like. Who we are. And we might want to put a separator just to divide these up. So spacer or separator, I think is what it's called. Over here, minimum height. Save. Reload it. Okay, now it's looking a bit more fleshed out. And we kind of want to, we might want to have another spacer over here just to make things a bit more pleasing to look at, just even it out. Okay, that's a bit better. All right. And let us go and add a paragraph down here. Go. Design from scratch, and let's close this and remove the title. And then for the paragraph, you can either just type a bunch of stuff here, or we can type it here on the right-hand side. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that, but if you wanted to change the typography, you can do so over here. We can change the font size to be a certain size. Right, you can make it 26 or something. Save that, and now we will have our front page over here. Okay, and technically, because this is set as our front page template, if we went ahead and took a look at our live site, it should display the same. Okay, so there is our simple front page, but how about putting a header in? How about putting in another page for our services? And how about putting another page for a link to Google Forms or to a contact form? Okay, so far, you know, it's looking kind of bare, and that's fine. If you're a consultant, really all you want to show is pictures of yourself. You want to put in your services buttons right here in the front. You want to show what your philosophy is, who you are, what you do, right? Your resume, CV. Just use the containers and just type in the things that you need. So let's talk more about the website part here, and let's click on Add New Template. Let's choose Header, and let's call this C Header 1. Okay, and let's show this on the entire website and create. Now, with that, we're going to go ahead and use a container right here, and just for, oh, probably not that. Let's go ahead and go with this one, and let's add our site logo, which is going to be our website assets one, right? And then we can center this, right? If we go over here, we can center this inner container, center this here in the middle, and then for this one, for this image, we can center this up over there, okay? Next, let's add a navigation menu. Drag and drop that over here, and as you can see, we don't have anything yet. So we can use WordPress menus if you have Nextdoor Pro, but for the manual menu, it's okay. We can have it as a vertical menu or a horizontal menu, but let's add some items first. So first off, we have home. Next, we'll have, and then next we will have okay. And then we can add labels to these. We can change, well, we can add icons. So let's put a menu icon on this. We can add the link. So for the link of this, we're going to go ahead and put front page. And it's going to say website assets.net. And that's fine. So if we were to click on this, it would go to that. But again, we just want to, it changed because of the link and the page title. So we're going to have to change this back to home. And we can add some labels and colors and so on and so forth. Let's go back and center this up on the inner container. Publish this, okay? And because it's the first header that we make, it's going to automatically show onto our website. Okay, so these are our 3 buttons. And for spacing, for these, for style, we might want to add some spacing to these. We can add paddings and margins to each one of these if we want to do, or we can make it a vertical menu if you want to, and so far that's fine. So with that done, let's take a look first at, let's go back to our theme builder and I'll show you something really cool. So we have our header over here and we have status. We can disable this, reload our site, and then nothing's going to appear, right? Because we disabled it. Similarly, we can disable this home template and it's going to display our menu over here, our header over here, but not our content. So let's reload this and we'll get everything back as it should be. So now let's go ahead and make our next 2 pages. It's going to be services and make an appointment or a booking or contact area. So let's head over back to our dashboard. Let's close these up and let's make a page. Okay. So let's click on add page and let's go ahead and give it a title, CNC services, and let's add some blocks. So let's add a container here, a grid for 6 over here, and let's add some pricing tables. Pricing table probably makes a bit more sense. Let's drag and drop that into one of these areas. Oh, probably bottom one over here. This one designed from scratch, right? And let's duplicate this. Let's add that over here. Let's duplicate that and add that over here. And let's add some images in here, in here, and in here. Okay. So let's go back over here and adjust our container. Minimum height. Or fit the screen or default. Or we can make our minimum height for all of these. Minimum height for all of these. 1 pixel or what? Probably set that as default for now. And let's start populating these. So for the image, let's click on upload image. You can either upload it from your computer, drag and drop it here, or select the files, or go under your media library and let's go ahead and start populating our site. So we have here some images. All right, let's go ahead and click on this and let's put this over here. And then since it's not centering, we're going to go ahead and go under flex property and then center that and change elements gap, but there aren't any elements to change. Let's center that over here. And over here, let's set the image of this to that, and it's going to be bigger. So what we're going to have to do is make it thumbnail size a bit smaller, center that, put it in a container, and then center that, and then put it in the middle. And last but not least, this one, upload image. And let's go and select something else. And let's select this. Okay, and then we're going to have to change our image size to thumbnail just to keep things a bit consistent here and in here. Okay, so that's about it. And there's a bunch of other options that you can play with the backgrounds and so on. And in here for our pricing tables, we can add buttons if we wanted to, right? Like have a look, take a look at this, like, I wanna buy that. And in fact, I might do that for all of these. Okay, and then for each one of these areas, you can see we have well, some styles which change the whole look of these. are for pro, but you can get away with messing with these, or you can manually make it by adding containers, images, lists, and buttons yourself. But having a block just saves you so much time. We can change the title style. We'll call this one, right? And then we can put this we can change this. We can add an icon. We can change the pricing area, right? So we can, we can change this to 52.3. Oh, well, yeah, there we go. We can change the alignment as well. We can put a previous price if we wanted to, right? You can change your currency over here. And then for our content area, right, all the features will be available here. We can add our features over here. So okay, and it's that easy. And we can change the link over here to where we could book, or we could just have all of these be pointing to the same area. So we're missing something here, which is a header. As this is just the page title, let's go ahead and put the heading on here. Let's center this, make it heading 1. Or heading 1. Let's put this our services. Let's change the color to black, and let's change the typography to Times New Roman. Okay, let's click on publish, and let's view this on our live site. Our services, there's our images, and there's our pricing lists for each one of these. And you can change the spacing and the padding for each one of these as you please. And let's go ahead and link this to our button over here. So let's return back to our dashboard. Let's go back to the theme builder. Let's go to the header and click on edit. And we're going to go to our navigation menu here. Go to services. And then for a link, we're going to go CNC services. And we're going to change this back to our services. Let's click on save. Let's go to our home page. Okay. And if we click on our services, it's going to take us to our services. Okay. And we click on home, it's going to take us home. And let's go ahead and add that to this button over here. So let's return back to our theme builder, back to home 1. Click on edit. And we're going to go into our button over here, and let's change out the link now to services. And if nothing is appearing, we can go ahead and just go to services. Oops. Services over here. Copy that link, pop that into there, save that, reload our site, go home, and click on services, and it's going to take us to our services page. Okay. Last but not least, let's go ahead and make an appointment booking page. So we could either have a simple one where, let's go ahead and return back to our dashboard real quick. Let's go to pages and then add a page. And I'll show you real quick a couple options that you can do. So the first one, well, let's give it a C and C booking page. Now let's give this one a shot. So for here, let's put this in a container, just a single one. Let's put a button. Right, and we can put forms at Google over here. Publish that. save it, and then take a look. And then once you enter the booking forms, like, okay, click on this, and it's going to take you to Google Forms if you wanted to mess with that, okay? But something that's really cool with Nextr is that it gives us a form builder. So form, and you can see form. Let's drag and drop that over here. Let's design it from scratch, and let's make a simple contact form. And here you can see fields that we can add. So we can change the style, but we only have one for the free version. Action after submit is to email whatever this is to our email address, right? And we put an address here. And then we can select the metadata, so we can add time, we can add the date as well. We can use remote IP, and success message is over here. And then for style, typography, right? For the input, you can change the buttons over here. And then as you can see, we have a video on how to use this block, like very in-depth. But for now, let's take a look at our document overview. And you can see we have our form over here. So what if I wanted to add something like a checkbox or a different button or something? You can see here, just the same as everything. We can change the layout, the width, the spacing, the typography of everything. If we went to our block inserter over here and we have, let's say nothing selected, nothing's going to show up. But if we selected this container and we went back to our block inserter, our form, it's going to give us a bunch of options here for different inputs. So if I wanted to have a radio button over here, I can put this over here. I can change this text here to type of animal. I can put here cat, dog, and then over here I can make it required, and then I can also put your name required here. If I wanted to have people's phone numbers, I can drag and drop that over here as well. So number, let me get it required, and we can change all of the settings over there. So let's go ahead and give this a heading. Oops. Okay, let's put this above, and let's change the text over here to and let's center this, and let's give it a darker color, and let's change the typography to Times New Roman. Let's make the font size a bit bigger. Okay, let's save that, and then view our page. And here we have a simple booking form with some options and some other things that we've added ourselves as well. Okay, so action after submit, and just so you know what else is in here, right? So we have our form. We have other actions here, such as, well, for the default one is the email, but if we clicked on this, we can redirect them to somewhere else, or if you get the Pro one, it allows you to integrate it with MailerChimp, Discord, Slack, you name it. But as for this, this is more than enough for something simple. Alternatively, if you didn't want to go deal with individual email responses to your email, you can just have a button that just sends you to Google Forms as a while ago. And we'll probably add an image or some instructions to the side over here with a paragraph, and then the button, click here to take you to Google Forms. So it's going to click on Save, and let's start linking this up with our other buttons. So let's go back to the theme builder. Okay, let's close this. Let's go to the header area, and let's click again on the navigation menu, and let's go here. Let's copy this real quick. Link. Booking page, and let's paste this, save it, and then well, let's copy this, right? Let's go back to our theme builder, back to home. And we're going to go over to our one button over here and add the link. Save it. And let's view our live site. Oops, not this one. Our live site. Here. Okay, here we are on the website Assets Consulting Limited Liability Corporation consultancy site. Here you are greeted with our company logo. You are greeted with a three-item menu on our header. We have a banner with our welcome splash image, a couple buttons to direct you to our services. You can probably put some text over here or a button to book now. Some simple about us over here. And if I wanted to, I could either click on here for services, and I can see all of my available services that I can book for. And if I wanted to book an appointment, I can either click on here, or here, or click over here on our header to enter to the appointment booking area. So, if you were a consultant, or a coach, this is probably something that you would benefit from greatly. Again, your page doesn't have to look exactly like this, but as you can see, Nexter allows you to utilize the stock and basic WordPress Gutenberg editor with a lot of versatility and management, whereas if you had a different theme, you would be forced to use starter themes that you might be overwhelmed with. So if you wanted something very simple, if you already had customers and you wanted something a bit more organized rather than using your Facebook page or Instagram or manually emailing you, or if you had a brand, let's say, again, our brand is Website Assets, and you gave them a calling card and you said, hey, check out my website. I have some options over there. You can see what services I offer over there. And if you wanted to book, you could click on book an appointment over there. Just send me your details. Just enter it all there, or there's some links to a Google form, and everything will be streamlined, right? Add as much services, as much images, as much info as you want. So there you have it. A simple 3-page website with a booking form and a services page and an About Us area for coaches and consultants. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Show this kind of video to other nerds like us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you want to know where to get the blocks that we used in this video to make forms real simple, real easy, check out the link in the description. It'll take you to the website of Nexter, where you can get the Nexter blocks yourself. Now, if you check out the pricing, they have 3 different levels: starter, professional, and studio. We recommend getting the studio one because it's a one-time payment. It's lifetime. You get all the blocks, so you don't have to worry about not having the right blocks to get what you need done. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to check out one of our other videos, or go ahead and check out our channel and subscribe to see more content like this.